Have you ever paused to reflect on the feeling of exhaustion that arises even when surrounded by others? This is a silent pain, an echo of an inner emptiness that many know but few can express. Feeling alone in a crowd is not just a sad irony, it's a silent scream of the soul yearning for genuine connection. The silence that envelops us in a place full of laughter and conversation can be deafening. It brings to light the fragility of our emotions, the difficulty of feeling understood, as if we were ghosts in our own lives, invisible to those around us. This disconnection consumes us, and often we find ourselves drained, as if the energies around us, instead of revitalizing, drain everything that's left within us. This phenomenon is not merely a coincidence. Living surrounded by people who do not truly see our essence can be more tiring than being completely alone. It's a painful paradox. You might wonder, why do I feel this way? It's the internal struggle between the desire for belonging and the rejection of the superficiality that surrounds us. Modern life has taught us to act, to smile, to appear happy, while our souls cry out for a recognition that never comes. You see, when we look inward, we can begin to understand this weariness. It is a sign that we need to filter the energies we accept into our lives and learn to protect ourselves from those who drain our joy. It's not a weakness, it's a necessity of self-care and a way to honor our emotions. Let's overcome the pain of silence together. Have you allowed yourself to explore these feelings? What you feel testifies to your truth. Don't hesitate to share in the comments your echo, your voice. Perhaps someone, just like you, is searching for light in the darkness. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to suck the light that shines within you? This is a silent reality where ancestral ties and unresolved wounds intertwine, creating chains that keep us tethered to a past we don't fully understand. Emotional vampires, often invisible, have their roots deep in our family relationships and the emotional legacies we carry. The journey of reflecting on our emotions and experiences leads us to a place where we can start to unveil these patterns. Our ancestors, with their own pains and struggles, left us not just legacies of love, but also shadows that can turn our scars into targets. Each of us may play a role in this game, often unwittingly. Have you felt that certain relationships, rather than bringing support, only amplify your wounds? That feeling of being drained, of being exhausted after a social encounter, can echo the family dynamics that have shaped us. The father who was never heard, the mother who carried sadness without saying a word. And you, in this emotional tangle, where does your self begin and where does what was inherited end? Now, imagine creating an empathetic anchor. This anchor is the recognition that your wounds do not define you. In fact, they can be a path to healing. When we look at our pain, instead of hiding from it, we can realize that this is the key to identifying the vampires around us. We are called to confront these patterns, to embrace the pain and transform it into power. What you feel testifies to your truth. Break the silence of your pain. With each comment, each venting, you can illuminate a bit more of the darkness that seems never-ending. The strength that comes from our vulnerability is unbreakable. Share your voice, and you may discover that other souls also long for light. Are you ready to recognize the echoes of shadows that have shaped your life? Do you feel that tension in the air? A disconnection, even when surrounded by familiar faces. Sometimes, silence weighs more than 1,000 unspoken words. Emotional loneliness is a dark place. It's when the echo of the soul resonates louder than the palpable laughter around you. Here, in the labyrinth of social life, you often find yourself as a spectator of your own experience, as if you were invisible, a supporting character in a movie where no one knows your name. Why does this happen? Because in a world that constantly cries out for presence, it's easy to get lost. So many superficial interactions do nothing but add layers of fatigue to your already overwhelmed mind. The weight of this emptiness becomes a daily burden, a mental exhaustion that we can't quite verbalize. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why am I here, and yet I feel so lost? The key lies in how we interact with others, and more importantly, how we see ourselves. We view ourselves through the lens of past relationships, unmet expectations, and wounds that still bleed. The truth is that many of the energies we attract may have deep roots in our own emotional pain. Sometimes, we're drawn to those who carry the same unhealed scars, like magnets disguised as friends or lovers, who instead of healing, perpetuate our suffering. Notice these patterns. Your desire to connect can lead you to seek support where there is none. Imagining that someone can be your savior is a silent mistake that echoes in solitude and frustration. It's essential to recognize your wounds do not define you. They are signs that inner work needs to be done. Each pain you carry is not a burden, but an opportunity for you to finally break free. Do you find yourself in a never-ending cycle? It's time to take action. It's time to start breaking those chains that are not yours. When you look inward, you realize that this quest for belonging can be the first step toward finding yourself. Have you tried? Have you faced the solitude with the truth of your pain? What you feel is valid. It's your voice crying out for recognition, and by sharing, you can touch hearts that also long for light. As we walk this path together, we find new strength. Vulnerability, when embraced, transforms into power. Silence often is the deepest ally. What it reveals is the true essence of being. Remember, you are not alone. You are simply returning to yourself. Have you ever wondered what signs the universe might be sending you? Sometimes the small details carry the most powerful messages, those synchronicities in daily life. A song that plays at just the right moment, a chance encounter that feels like so much more than mere coincidence. These experiences might be the cosmos whispering to you, guiding you to where your essence truly wants to go. Other times, though, they can be warnings about the energies that surround us. In the silence between conversations and laughter, we often find ourselves in a state of alert. That cloak of loneliness, even among others, can be the key to understanding what truly shakes us. It is in this space that the question arises: what signs have you ignored that might be alerting you to the energies around you? What does your heart seek, and what are the circumstances trying to teach you? Synchronicities may seem subtle, but they are echoes that resonate deeply. Feeling disconnected, lacking a sense of belonging, can clearly manifest that something is unbalanced in the relationships we insist on cultivating. And it's at this moment that the invitation to introspection becomes imperative. What else could we be learning? When we choose to pay attention to the subtleties, we begin to uncover the invisible patterns we've created. The energies we attract may reflect not only who we are, but also our unhealed wounds. Those who drain our vitality might represent a part of ourselves that is still struggling to heal. By recognizing these signs from the universe, we become more capable of filtering what truly revives us from what consumes us. Sometimes, what we need is the courage to name that pain, the pain of silence that echoes among us. Seeking protection is not weakness, it is wisdom. Thus, as we navigate our pain and the emotional vampires in our lives, we have the opportunity to transform wounds into strength. The search for belonging becomes a journey of reconnection with yourself. It's time to pause, breathe, and listen. The universe is always communicating. What will be your next step to protect yourself from energies that no longer serve you? This is just the beginning of your inner journey. You may find yourself trapped in a cycle of heavy emotions, where mental fatigue blends with emotional pain. It feels as if there's a shadow over your light, sapping the vitality you desperately seek. This instant connection, amidst familiar faces, seems like an illusion. Why do those who care fail to see your true self? The energies of others subtly shape who we are and how we feel. You can feel that weight, that silent exhaustion intensifying when you interact with individuals who do not reflect your true essence. The presence of an emotional vampire may seem harmless, but in reality, it is a constant struggle. A struggle to keep your light shining in the darkness that others project. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is this what I really want? In this moment of reflection, it's crucial to recognize that your pain does not define you. It's merely a cloak you wear while learning to dance with the light. Only by accepting your wounds can you transform them into a space of healing. It's that inner resilience that will allow you to see that you are not alone. Look within. Each distress carries the potential for rebirth. On this path of self-discovery, questioning your circle of relationships is essential. Have you noticed which connections truly uplift you? Those that bring only accumulation of grief and confusion. Open your eyes and be attentive to the signs. That meeting that leaves you more fatigued than revitalized may be a warning that you need to protect yourself. What is at stake is not just your interactions, but your very essence and freedom. It's time to recognize that your pain is an invitation for you to anchor your energy within yourself, rather than in what others expect or need. There is no weakness in distancing yourself from those who drain your vitality. When you join the dance of self-acceptance, you finally see yourself as the healer of your own scars. Do you feel that? The transformation that begins when we acknowledge the beauty of our wounds and the strength they grant us. Embrace this journey. Make it a passage to freedom. Meanwhile, remember, you are not alone. You are simply returning to yourself. Have you ever felt lost within, on the way to what you truly feel? The inner journey is a complex labyrinth where shadows are not just remnants of the past, but alerts to what still needs healing. When we confront our pain, we find the first key to the door of self-knowledge. This key is not made of cold metal, but of lived experiences, wounds that shape our protection. Are you willing to explore those shadows? It's in the silence of reflection that revelations unfold. Do you feel the weight of superficial connections, looking around and noticing faded colors, faces that do not reach the depths your soul desires? This loneliness disguised as presence can be more devastating than absence. It is an echo of your essence struggling to be heard. You are not invisible. You are in fact a light among shadows, and it's time to explore this. Your journal can be a companion on this journey. Call it your journey of transformation. Every word you pour into it is a step toward clarity, a tool against the emotional vampires that drain your vitality. When you write, you expose your fears and desires. By doing so, you limit the control that other energies have over you. It is a powerful defense that reveals the hidden patterns you've accepted without questioning for too long. Have you ever stopped to look deeply at these patterns? Often, we link mental exhaustion to the relentless search for approval. Why do I need so much to fit in, you might ask? This realization is a turning point. The need for validation can turn into a maze with no exit, where you lose connection with yourself. Now is the time to transform that cycle. The keys to self-knowledge are being handed to you. Dig deep into your inner compositions. Allow yourself to recognize that your wounds are not a burden, but a path to liberation. By confronting what you've been avoiding, you prepare yourself for what is to come. Dark places become sacred spaces of renewal. Do you feel that? The courage to look at your wounds is the beginning of true transformation. What you feel is valid. That pain echoing in your soul may be the key that unlocks the door to your authentic self. Embrace this journey. You are not alone. You are simply returning to yourself. Have you felt that blending into society is like swimming in an ocean of faceless people? A vibrant crowd, yet cold, where individuals move, laugh, and connect, while you remain trapped in an invisible cocoon of loneliness. That unbearable feeling of not being seen, of being a voice without an echo, resonates with many of us. It's a cruel paradox. The more surrounded we are, the more alone we feel. This silent exhaustion often arises not only from isolations imposed by modern life, but from ties that bind us to energies that drain our light. Now imagine the possibility of a journey back, a reunion with yourself. deep reflection on your past experiences can be a light that illuminates the darkest corners of your soul. On this journey, we are accompanied by our guardian spirits, presences that, even if invisible, feel the pain we carry. They help us examine the chains that hold us captive, often created by emotional bonds that seem unbreakable. It's time to practice the ritual of gratitude and release, a sacred moment where you can, with courage, look at your wounds and understand them as part of your healing journey. Each tear, each forced laugh, is a piece of the puzzle you need to assemble to rediscover your true self. This ritual is not a superficial activity. It's a powerful affirmation that you refuse to be drained by emotional vampires. By expressing gratitude for the lessons learned, you release the weight of others' expectations placed upon you. As you look within, ask yourself, what emotional patterns am I repeating? Who has the power to drain my light? By naming your wounds and witnessing your pain, you give yourself the chance to redirect your energy. True connection begins when you shine outward. It's this new perspective that opens up space for genuine belonging. You are not defined by your traumas. They are just part of the narrative that reveals your strength. Remember, as you move forward on this path of self-discovery, the light you seek already resides within you. It simply needs to be rediscovered. Silence speaks too, and sometimes it heals. It's in that curve of understanding the self that the true journey resides. A return to your authentic self. The path may be challenging, but you are not alone. You are merely coming back to yourself. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to protect yourself? This is not just about pushing others away or building walls. To protect yourself is a subtle practice, a conscious choice inviting you to rebirth in your own space. You don't need to be a fortress, but a sanctuary, a sacred place where your emotions can flow freely, where each scar reveals a path of learning and transformation. Understanding what we emotionally absorb begins with a keen look. The body speaks, the mind stirs. Do you feel that tension when you get close to those who drain your energy? Each interaction leaves invisible traces, and it's vital to recognize that by choosing to be close to certain individuals, you may be opening doors not only to the light, but also to the shadows. Each relationship should be examined with a critical and loving eye. Ask yourself, does this relationship elevate me, or does it consume me? In this process of discovery, the universe becomes an ally. Look around, the synchronicities are there, whispering hidden truths. The small messages you often ignore. The moments of silence that speak louder than 1,000 words. They reveal the need to reassess the connections you maintain, while also offering the chance to redefine your emotional boundaries. Recognizing these dysfunctional energies is an act of self-care. Often, we are shaped by the currents of others' expectations, forgetting that true freedom resides in the power of choice. So, I invite you to practice self-love daily. What do you do to honor your emotions? Sometimes, the simple act of forgetting the shoulds and listening to what your soul craves is the first step to breaking negative cycles. When you allow your true essence to express itself, you uncover new strengths. A space of renewal opens, where light enters, bringing with it wisdom and clarity. Take a moment to review your life. Inventory the interactions that bring you peace, and those that fail to recognize you. Learning to say no when necessary is a sign of self-respect. It shouldn't be seen as weakness, but as a courageous step towards your most authentic self. This journey of self-discovery may not be easy, but it is where the magic happens. And remember, the protection you seek already resides within you. It's time to release the binds that hold you to the pain of the past and embrace the new beginnings that await you. You are not alone. You are simply returning to yourself. Have you ever felt like life is happening all around you, but you somehow remain invisible to that dance? That bittersweet sensation of being present yet completely disconnected is a shadow many carry, even in a crowd. Understand that emotional loneliness is not an individual problem. It's a shared experience an echo of souls searching for connection, yet confronting a desert of misunderstanding instead. The fragility of human emotions reveals itself in superficial conversations. They are like a fog that obscures the truth we all long to acknowledge. We are surrounded by laughter, but it's not uncommon to feel the weight of silence, a murmuring lurking that reminds us that, behind the masks, everyone is fighting their own internal battles. This is where exhaustion sets in, at the intersection of the desire to connect and the rejection of superficiality. What's wrong with wanting to be seen? What's wrong with wanting to be heard? If you've come this far, you've likely asked yourself those questions. The fatigue you feel, that fatigue that a good night's sleep won't cure, is a clear sign. A message from your soul asking you to filter the energies around you, saying, "Enough. It's time for me to protect myself." It's a silent awakening, an invitation to self-care. You don't need to lose yourself in others' expectations anymore. The energies you accept are a reflection of the space you allow in your life. Honor your own pace. Allow yourself to be. As you navigate these turbulent waters, remember that within your vulnerability lies a renewing strength. When you turn inward, you touch on the essence of the pain that shapes your relationships. Ask yourself, which bonds bring you comfort, and which ones drain your vitality? Free yourself from the burden of seeking external approval. That anchor may very well be a barrier against the light you truly seek. After reflecting on your own wounds, you will realize that the deepest connections come from within. The Shaolin master, Shi Heng Yi, reminded us that true knowledge lies in silence and contemplation. In that space, finding inner peace becomes a tangible reality. Honor your journey. And if these words resonate with you, share the message with someone who might need it. Feel free to invite someone along on this healing journey. After all, together we are stronger. You are not alone. You are simply returning to yourself.